Do you want me to update everyone on my job status?
You probably should. I mean, we have
I
updated
know.
every.
I know everyone is really waiting to hear about it.
Every time you come on, it's after months of changes in your life. Uh, that's what. So
No, I haven't actually had any real changes. I've just been talking about wanting changes. It's totally
okay.
different. Um,
Was it? Hold on. There was another period where you needed several months off or something.
that was when I was moving. I was moving.
Oh, there
And
you
it
go.
was
Yeah.
I was moving and it was my first semester of grad school. And I was
Uh,
like, I can't do anything for the next 2 months.
if you feel better, you're not the only person that likes several months off in between appearances. Um,
Who's coming on like every other week? I'd like to know.
lots of people. Lots of people.
Who?
People you don't know.
Drop some names.
I can drop names, but you don't know these people. So
Really? No one I know? How often does Blake come on here?
Blake hasn't come on in years. Okay, that's a source of
Oh,
podcast because. Uh,
oh. He asked about you when we finally made contact.
okay, well if it makes him feel better, I think about him every day.
Oh,
So,
well that's nice.
no.
I'm glad. Oh my god, you're not here right now, but this is a really big deal because I got my cats this new house because they ate their other one and they're finally using it. I gotta take like 10 pictures real quick. Oh, yay, I'm so happy. I wish you could see this right now. It was one of those cheap houses that they ate. Have you seen them? They sell them at Aldi.
I can't say. I
They're like made of cardboard, have like quirky little themes. One of the listeners will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, one of my cats is crazy and she just ate the whole thing. Like, not the whole thing, but she ripped it apart. She just kept biting it and chewing it up and spitting it out. She's really into cardboard, so I got them this new permanent house. But up until now, they have been afraid of going inside of it. But now, little Thunder is inside looking at me. Hey, buddy. Good job. Anyway, yeah, I had to take some time off to move. And then just now, I had to take time off because it was I changed jobs and it was a crazy, crazy time. There's a lot going on. But what do you need to know now? Where did I leave off?
This is the Experience Podcast with me
And Mary and my cats. They're in the room. You can't hear them or see them, but they're there.
and Tribute.
Just one of them, actually. I don't know where the other is. Anyway, what's new? What's up? Happy to be here. I've been listening to podcasts in preparation for this.
Not this one.
So I realized I need to thank you. No, not this one. I've been listening to some other podcasts to prepare for coming on. I think I could bring a lot to the table as far as spicing it up, I'm supposed to thank you for having me on here and that kind of stuff. And then you're supposed to be like, thank you for being here. So,
Okay.
Okay.
I'm glad you did your homework. I didn't.
It I'll be honest. It wasn't specifically to prepare for this. I just really have been enjoying this podcast I've been listening to. It's really funny.
Okay, not this one.
Again, not this
one.
It's the only podcast I've ever. Okay, that's not true. It's the second podcast I've ever listened to. The first was also not this podcast, but one of these days.
If our listeners can do the math thing, she's listened to 2 podcasts. This one.
Not including this one. At one time I might have listened. My friend Amanda listened before she came on, I think.
You know what? We need Amanda back on. Let's bring him in.
Speaking of people, Amanda's a great one to have on a podcast. She's
I don't get to contact her, so it's not.
Okay. Well, just let me know when you want her to be on there.
I'm letting you know now. This is it.
No, I need like when you text me, hey, do you want to be on the podcast? Be like, hey, do you and Amanda want to be on the podcast?
Okay, Mary, the next time, I'm banking this right now. The next time you're on the podcast, I expect Amanda to be invited. She doesn't have to come. Maybe she's busy. But
maybe she's busy. Okay.
I take that back. She's got to come on. Okay.
She's got to come on. We've got to coordinate with her.
Whether she's taking several months to come on. Around.
She's better at timing than me, so she probably won't have to take several months off. But
so
anyway,
come on, the whole gang back together. Go.
Yeah, the whole gang. No, we don't have Elizabeth though. We could bring Elizabeth on. That would get a little rowdy though. 4 people, so I don't know if that's too much. Anyway, yeah, I started a new job. It's pretty weird so far. It's local government, so kind of spicy. I hope it's fun. I just started, so.
Have people considered local government jobs spicy?
I think they do. Have you ever seen Parks and Recreation? I'd call it pretty darn spicy.
I wouldn't.
No, it's it's a closer knit community than the state or the federal level, you know.
Let me ask you, Mary.
Yeah.
When you tell all your best friends, and you have many, by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
That you got this brand new job, they're like, oh, what is it? You say it's local government. They go, oh, spicy.
I could think of at least 3 people who responded that way. They might not have used that word, but that's I could tell that's what they were thinking.
They said, oh, that's neat. And you said, wow.
Spicy. No, but they've said stuff like, ooh, wow. Whoa.
Like that?
They really do say that. Yeah. It's super cool.
I'm sorry, Mary. You're just very cool and spicy.
Thank you. And you know what? I couldn't get a federal government job, so I mean, maybe I could one day, but I applied to probably 20,000 and I never heard back. It either says applications are being reviewed, or it either said application received, or application referred, or application immediately disqualified for lack of qualifications. All of them said one of those 3 things. Really, it was probably only like 25 of them, but that's a lot. And you know, I like the local level. It's nice. I feel close to the community. We get to go out there and do stuff. Plus we get to respond to service requests, some of which are like super funny. A lot of people referencing how they pay my salary, you know, stuff like that. It's good stuff. Really informative about the world that we're living in. So, anyway, what's new with you?
Nothing. That's
okay.
It.
What do you want me to talk about? What's the plan?
the one that did all this homework and studying for the podcast. I don't want to.
Well, do you want me to give you a podcast recommendation? Some things you could incorporate?
Sure, go ahead. Let's talk about this. Is actually talk about how we can make better podcasts.
Okay.
I remember
Perhaps you could
having
present me with some stories or some facts and have me respond to them. That would be good.
some facts. Let's look at some facts. We kind of did this last week where Elizabeth came on and she just started citing things that were happening in the world. We did. It was just a news segment.
We don't have to make it all political or anything, but.
Oh, that's just like.
What about, okay, I could read you this newsletter I got from the New York Times about 4 mistakes couples make when discussing money.
This is something that you and I talk about together a lot. So.
Mistake number 1, assuming you have the same values. Oh, it's complicated. Mistake number 2, not checking in. It is spicy, you're right. People are resistant to asking how much money is coming in, how much money is going out, where is the money, and how can I access it if I need it? Oh dear. Who doesn't know how to? That makes me concerned for some people. Mistake number 3, letting difficult conversations fizzle. Okay. It's helpful. Mistake number 4, focusing only on scarcity. I don't know what that means. Where we should cut, how we should budget. You can learn so much from having positive, playful conversations. Okay. Huh.
Now, Mary, do you want to go through an example in your life of any of these principles that, or I guess mistakes we'll say, that have come up?
Well, I guess I could talk about, yes, focusing only on scarcity is definitely something I'm prone to. I have not recently, in the last few years, I have gotten extremely into budgeting. Like I have an Excel spreadsheet where I track every single purchase ever that I make and track all of my money coming in and my money going out. And at points, it's very stressful. Like if I spend too much in a month or go over, then it feels really bad. But it's been very helpful for understanding where I spend my money and like where to consciously cut back and stuff. But I think I could do a better job, complimenting myself. You know, talking about this says that you should have a date night where you buy Powerball tickets and talk about what you would do if you won. So I don't know about that, but
is money column is asking you to buy lottery tickets?
Yes. New York Times wants me to buy a Powerball ticket.
Once a week, whatever the frequency was.
No, it doesn't say once a week. It says twice a year.
Oh, twice a year? Still.
Twice a year.
You can have a conversation without buying the actual ticket.
I know.
I guess if you're in this situation, you need that emotional incentive tied to
perhaps
physical.
Yeah.
Physical.
If you're one of those people who can't talk about what they would do if they won the lottery, I feel like you need to actually buy a lottery ticket to be able to manifest that,
One of those people, and you're getting your advice from the New York Times op-ed.
That's right. You know what? This is a great newsletter. Everyone should follow it. They have really good tips about stuff, but no, I need to be less hard on myself and stop beating myself up for, going out to eat too many times or whatever else and be like, you know what? I'm still doing great. Still doing great for my age. I try to it's been a tough go of it. As maybe the listeners know. I can't remember how much I shared about all of that, but
A lot.
a lot. Okay. So I shared a lot about my personal life and career and finances, evidently, and I need to be a lot better about, being more positive, not being so hard on myself. But it is tough coming out of especially a school like a tech school where everything is so focused around career and return on investment and yada yada yada. Plus we're surrounded by people in the actual tech industry who have just like crazy inflated salaries. And it can be a little bit discouraging to somebody, who's just kind of doing well, but normal. So try to give yourself grace. This is for all the listeners out there who are just, doing normal things, not making whatever, 200K in their first couple years out of college. I hear you. I see you. I certainly am you. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. Daniel, back to you.
Back to me.
Yeah. Okay, what's the next conversation topic?
I don't know. You're the one with all these, with the newsletter stuff.
I thought you might present me with something. I thought I was buying you some time to look.
Is that what that was? I don't know.
Do you have any good stories to tell?
Stories. Any stories? See, okay. So let me pull back the curtain here, okay?
Okay.
I bring several people on the podcast, okay?
Right.
I would call it, let's use the word several.
Okay.
And each time a person comes on, they haven't been on in whatever frequency, for some more longer than others. And they ask me to talk about what's going on in my life every single week. So, which is fine. And I don't mind telling each person, but if I'm repeating it, listeners, dedicated listeners, they don't need to hear me talk about the same topics every week.
You're right. Right.
Mary,
do you tell the first person?
I'm sorry?
Do you tell the first person? Like, do you wait
okay, first,
tell someone big updates and then like, you're like, okay, I got that big update out. Now I can't share that again.
No, Mary, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean, this is personal against you, okay? This is more like, nothing has happened to me. This last week, some things kind of happened to me. And
but you shared them already?
But I've already shared them on the podcast, and I don't want to reach.
Go to the podcast to find out.
I can tell you after we like,
this is tough.
I'll give you.
You're turning into one of those families that doesn't update their kids about anything except yearly when they send out like the family newsletter, and that's where you find out that like your mom had surgery and your dad has cancer. You find out all of this in your family newsletter.
Just for you, Mary, I'm going to give you the highlights, okay?
Okay. Keep it super brief.
You know what? I can't even remember. I know at least one thing that I talked about. There was another thing that I can't remember. The one thing was, I had this teacher in a class that I took last week. It was like a training class.
Oh, okay.
And the teacher came from out of state. He works at a different state. So he's traveling here for a week. And we have a lunch break for an hour every day. And so I brought lunch most of the time, but the one day I went out, I saw him across the street and he went to McDonald's. And I live I work, I should say, in a very like metropolitan, there's a lot of different options, okay? Local chains, all these different options. And I was a bit surprised that he chose McDonald's of all places.
Okay. Don't be so harsh, but.
Okay. It was more just like, oh, really? That's where you're going with?
Okay.
Option. I don't know. I was just a little surprised.
That's it? That's the story?
That's what happened.
Oh my god.
I actually did the highlights. That's really the whole story. That's like 90%.
Story.
There's not even extra parts that I missed.
Oh my God. Okay.
I was just a bit surprised.
Wow.
Also,
Okay.
if it matters, I'll give you more context. Okay, he lives in Idaho, so
So,
he's from a
no
very different.
wonder he wants McDonald's. It's Idaho, you know?
Here's okay. Let me give you more context. He's Italian, like he's from Italy. He moved here in like 2001 or something, so he's been here for a while. But
He's probably like these
Italian.
cheap ass Americans with their imitation Italian food. I'd rather just have a classic McDonald's cheeseburger. You know? It's not trying to hide what it is, you know?
And he gets like per diem to buy lunch every day, so I don't think it was like this
Maybe
is
he
where
wants to pocket it? I don't know.
I don't think so. He's got a very nice job. Okay, money not. I don't think money's an issue for him. That he can't go.
You
He
don't know
can't
his
go from
whole
the town.
story. You don't know.
I don't know his whole story, but McDonald's was like, I don't know, how much is a McDonald's meal these days?
I
Because
hate to tell you, it's not that expensive, but it is sometimes just really good. I'm not gonna lie.
I I,
Sometimes.
I will say,
It
because I
hits.
went to a couple other places around where I work, and it's
Yeah.
not as expensive as you think. I went to the deli, which is one block over. It's not like it was that far away, and
Yeah.
I got a sandwich for under $10. Okay?
Huh. Okay.
Pretty good. And then there's another place around the corner, this like Asian place that I could
Yeah.
get like a meal for like $13. So
Okay.
like
I have to say, I think he just was craving, Mickey D's.
well, and then here's my other thought. Now I'm thinking, because that was on a Thursday. So
Mm.
now, did he go to McDonald's every single day, like his whole week?
Maybe,
It's
or maybe he went to
close.
the nicer places earlier and was like, I'm
Yeah,
ready for some classic McDo. I just need something
well,
quick, you
it's
know?
it's the closest place. It is directly across the street. There's
Just
no place close.
crunching time, you know? That's all,
It's
I
also
think.
he's also probably because I think he's been teaching this class for at least a decade, so he's been like around where I work, so like
Oh,
here all
yeah.
the time.
This
It's
is
not.
totally cool. We've explained this story. I know this was like your big story to share, but I get it. Listen, it's not that weird.
No, look, he's allowed to go to wherever he wants to eat. That was it's more just a bit surprising. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
It
Like
is
of all places
interesting.
to choose,
I'll give you that.
just to choose.
But
Okay, there's dozens.
I could see myself doing it. And then I would feel really sad if I found out that my students were like,
God.
why is this woman getting McDonald's? Doesn't she know?
But
Doesn't
no,
she
I
know she
think
doesn't have to do that?
it was like. Here's the thing, okay? He's like a great guy. He's like the nicest person ever. He was an
Hmm.
amazing teacher. Like honestly, one of my favorite teachers I've ever had.
Wow.
I might be hyperbolizing a bit, but it was very
Okay.
nice. The class was excellent. I learned a ton of stuff, and that's why like this is Thursday, so it's toward the end of the class, and because the test was on Friday, so it was really most of the
Whoa.
instructions done by
What
then.
was the class on?
It was on Bayesian inferencing,
What the hell?
statistics. It's like a statistic.
Okay. Okay. Don't know it, but cool.
So Bayesian inferencing is a way to update.
Do we need to talk about it?
Okay, well, I guess
Do the listeners need to know?
maybe they care. Maybe they want to know about Bayesian
Okay,
inference.
you're right.
It's used in
Tell
more
them.
things than you would think.
Tell them. Tell them.
No, they don't want to hear. You're right. They
Okay.
don't want to
You're right.
hear.
They don't. You're
It
right. I understand the listeners and they don't. But I'm happy for you that it was a great class.
was a fantastic class. It was just, I was a bit caught, I was caught off guard there. Okay, that was it. There was nothing.
Listen, a friend of mine got McDonald's DoorDash delivered to her house twice in one day the other week. So sometimes, you want what you want. Nothing wrong with it. I could go for McDonald's right now.
All right, you know what? Let's just go get McDonald's together.
You know what? We should. I would love that, honestly. But okay, I understand your point about not wanting to talk about your life. I forgot about that aspect. And when I
No,
talk to my
all right.
friends, usually I'm just like, what's going on with your life? So I understand why. can't do that in this situation. But
Well, I mean, also, as people know, I don't really talk about myself a lot. So
right.
it's really compounded to get, you know.
Right. So I'm like, is this just him being resistant, or is this because he already told this McDonald's story last week? Also, for the record, I hesitate to say that's something that happened to you. More like a
It's,
little thing you saw.
it's happened in my life. It's something that happened while I lived.
While you lived, that you
Actual,
saw with your eyes. So it is,
a lived
that's
experience.
true.
So
It was a lived experience. Um,
I don't have
I urge you to dig deeper, but we don't have to do that
that.
on this
I'm
show.
sorry. I'm really sorry, but genuinely, that was the most interesting thing that's happened to me over the last like 14 days.
Okay.
That's what my life
All
is.
right.
I don't think people realize this. They think I'm just being resistant, and I totally am. But also, I just don't have enough. I don't have like I'm trying to think of what I have done over the last 2 weeks. Like I
Okay. Have you made any new friends?
no, but I did volunteer for
Oh,
no, hold on. I volunteered for a program at work,
okay.
which is basically like you're familiar with tech prep. I don't think you ever did it. It
Uh,
was, right?
yes, I am. Tech prep. I've
I,
heard of
I,
it.
I did it. I did it for 2 years in a row at Georgia Tech. I'm basically
Ah.
at the NRC. It's like kind of the same thing. So the
Oh.
NRC has um, like summer interns
Yeah.
here. So this program is just sort of like a way to, it's like a mix of like technical and social, um,
That's cute.
courses or whatever, events, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
So like during the day, it'll be like the history of our organization or like, here's a
Mhm.
topic, reactors, whatever. And then like that weekend, we'll take them to like a nationals game or something.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know you were so involved with the youths.
it's youths, yeah.
Youths. I guess I should have known since you were a plus leader at a time.
Yeah, yeah. That's
At once.
the same idea. Yeah.
Same vein.
Similar idea. So I feel like that's a
That's an
start.
update. Good for you. It's
Well,
fun.
I volunteered. There's a whole sheet. I don't know what role they're gonna give
Oh,
me.
okay. Oh, so it hasn't actually started.
No, it starts like in a couple of weeks, and then it
Oh,
goes like the end of summer. Yeah,
okay.
they just getting started.
Cool. That's
So,
fun.
no new friends, I will
No
say.
new friends yet. This could be a great way to make some new friends.
I don't. It's like it's really weird. And okay, I'll talk about this. So
Okay.
the organization I work for, I guess I already mentioned, but no one cares what the name is. They're
The
really
NRC.
no one knows what that's.
Okay. I do, as someone who's applied to 25 federal jobs.
She knows all the acronyms. I think they do a really good job to provide opportunities for new people to meet each other.
Oh,
Right? They have like these new people meet and greets, like
yeah.
seems like every other month.
Oh,
And they're like constantly hiring people, so like
yeah.
I guess good for them. But they let they grandfather you into that. Like you can be new for like up to a year and still go to these events and all that.
Oh, that's nice.
But it's like meeting each other, but then you also meet like the senior leadership, so like you get to
Right.
but like I go to these, I've been to a few of them, and like I don't know, every time I go, I have to reintroduce I'm very good personally at like names and faces. I remember them
Yeah,
very well.
me too.
I
Mostly.
understand other people are not, so I'm constantly reintroducing myself to to not just like the senior leadership, but like to the other
Yeah.
new people
When
that
you
I
introduce yourself again, are people like, we've met already?
know. That's the thing.
Oh,
I'm thinking
no.
we've met already.
You're like,
Like
we definitely met last month, but hi
basically,
again.
well, and like I guess, and so that's one problem. Yeah, like one time I sat down. It was like a breakfast. It was like a little breakfast or whatever they had. I sat down next to the deputy division director, who's basically my
Whoa.
boss's. Okay, it's two. It's
Yeah.
not that. Just like two levels up.
Okay.
This was a while. This was like when I first joined. Now she knows me very well. But I sat next to her and she's like, "Oh, do you know if Daniel's coming?" I
Oh
was like,
no.
I was like, oh. Cause
What
she's
did
like,
you respond?
I don't even remember what I said. This was
Were
in
you
like,
like,
she,
it's,
she's really nice. Again, this is another person. She's really nice and, she's actually
oh,
a
pain.
great person, but she's just like, she's got a lot of stuff on her mind. She's one of those people that like, had a bunch of different things going
Yeah.
on. She probably just, because I had just met her like the week before. So, maybe things were kind of busy, but like, anyway, so that's one of the
Oh
problems.
no.
Maybe
Wait,
I'm
are
just
you sure she wasn't talking about another Daniel?
no, because then I introduced myself just like, oh, I'm sorry, I remember we met like last week or whatever.
Oh,
It's okay.
pain.
This happens to me all the time. And again, maybe I'm just very
Do you
forgettable.
make a joke about it? Like, I feel like I wouldn't be able to not
I
address
think
it. I feel like I'd be like, we
right.
actually met already. I'm crazy, so I remember everything, but it's nice to meet you again.
I think I have a perfect memory, but like
I never forget anything, FYI. So, yeah, I remember you.
anyway, other problem that I had, and maybe it's related, is I can't make like I'm making connections, but they're not meaningful, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
even if I can get someone to remember me,
Right.
I don't talk to them again
Yeah.
for the several, I guess probably until the next time we meet in that setting.
Right.
Or,
That's hard. I have a very hard time with that too. I really only am able to become friends with people if I see them on a regular basis, like forced to see them. Almost like I will only become friends with my coworkers who like I actively work with every day or
I mean,
gossip with every day.
these are like people,
Oh,
like,
I know. You should gossip with them. That is a very formative thing. That's what I learned in the podcast I listened to, but I won't share its name because I don't want to market for it on your podcast. But
I don't,
try talking about some tea. Like nothing harmful, obviously.
what
But
do
like
you, for example, though? Because
okay.
I'm in a very professional setting. Like, I'm surprised.
You need to like find one of the younger people.
The kids, the younger kids.
One of the kids. And it's just like if something weird happens, just like throw out a little feeler, be like, "Did you see that thing that this person did?" And if they're like, "Yeah, what was weird about that?" Then you just be like, "Oh, nothing. Like, I just thought it was odd.
I just
Nothing."
feel like I understand what you're saying, and that worked very well at my old job. Probably to a fault. Like,
Probably to a fault.
no, like it was a little toxic in that aspect.
Oh, no.
To the
I don't
extreme.
mean anything toxic. Just
No,
like,
it was like no, but what I'm getting at is here it just doesn't seem like that would work at all. Like first
or
of
like,
all,
what if, is there like an intern who is like a bit of a slacker? Like, can you like lock eyes with people when the intern does something stupid? Like anything like that?
that just okay. Here's the other thing, Mary. I interact like I work alone the whole day. I have meetings with people occasionally. A lot of those, uh, there's not really like a social time to them.
Oh,
There's no real,
wait, are
yeah,
you in person every day?
I'm in person 2 days a week,
Okay. I'm trying, like,
but
I understand it's harder not in person, but like, do you have people who sit near you at the office who like, even the tea can start out like so simple. Like, say somehow a 5-year-old is in the office and is like running around and throwing shit, like tossing stuff around. You, you and your cubicle mate or whoever can be like, whose child is this? That's funny.
that doesn't happen. I work like I've mentioned this to other people. I work better at home
Oh,
at work for some reason because at work I don't know. It's just got a very like dull atmosphere there.
yikes.
Quiet. And, I mean,
Sad.
not dull, but like quiet and peaceful almost. Like nothing happens like that. So it works out very well for some people. That's why I think they like to go in. But for me,
Yeah.
just it's almost like I don't know.
Have you tried taking a lap around the office and just like chit-chatting with people at their desk?
I
Quickly. Don't linger. You know, people don't like when you linger, and you got to read the room. Like, is this person in the mood to chat or not? But
it's
sometimes if I'd get, bored or just need to stretch my legs, I'd take a lap and go say hi and be like, hey, how's it going? Like, I'm just, stretching my legs, taking a little brain break. How's your day going? Something like that. That's how you can start. And then you work up and maybe eventually people start talking more.
I could. Let me throw another curveball at you.
Okay.
First of all, I only go in 2 days a week, and most people go in 2 or 3 days a week.
Okay.
It's
not the same days.
that's one thing. It's not the same days.
Oh.
That some people have permanent desks. Others, so if you go in 3 days a week,
Yeah.
get a permanent desk. If you go in any fewer than that, it's called hoteling.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, where you have to select a desk.
Maybe you should go 3 days a week.
I could, but I don't really need a desk. I don't have an emotional attachment to it in different.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's cheaper to work at home, and like I've already mentioned, I kind of work better at home.
That's fair.
And
I liked my old job in that the work from home days were like set. Like it was like Tuesday through Thursday you are supposed to be in the office, but Monday, Wednesday do whatever the heck you want. Some jobs are weird about like not wanting people's work from home days to be all on the same day. But it's like, to me, it makes more sense to have people's work from home days on the same day, because then it's like, when we're in the office, it's as if this is a fully in-person job. Like, everyone's here. And you still get the perk of remote on certain days. Like, I don't know. My new job, no one is allowed to work from home on the same day. Like, we have to coordinate and rotate. But it's because we have to have, like, somebody on site at all times, or, like, available. But it does make it less fun. And it's nice when everybody's there, because then it's like more fun. It's no fun to be there by yourself. Then it's like, why am I even here?
No, yeah, there are definitely plenty of days where I go there and I don't talk to any person. I might have a meeting, but it's online.
Dang.
It's like the same,
So silly.
everything is virtual, pretty much, or at least half virtual, all of it, just because of that. I will say I do like the flexibility, because I can change in-person days if like, oh, this week I need to go to these 2 days or whatever.
Right.
Like I do have an in-person meeting one day, so I can, so
right.
they do have a great, they do offer that flexibility, which is good. But yeah,
flexibility is nice.
Generally.
But as far as office culture, it's less nice.
Yeah, I mean, I would say in-person culture, and I'm sure it was better when before the pandemic and all that
Right.
changed everything. So I can't speak to how it used to be. And I mentioned probably more off air that like it's better than my old place.
Right. Right.
But
hopefully none of them are listening.
It's this program that I'm doing this summer hopefully will allow me to connect with more people. I'm in like some other groups, but I don't know if it's personal motivation or lack of interest, but I'm struggling. Yeah, I'm still struggling with that connection with other people.
It's fair. It's a hard thing. Like I said, I really only was able to make any connections with people by it being forced to interact with them. Otherwise, I'm pretty bad at it. I'm usually like, okay, time to go home. Like, okay, I don't feel like talking. But if someone's right in front of me, like, sharing a cubicle, or we share the microwave or things like that, then I will chat with them because I'm chatty. It's just my way.
For our listeners,
but I'm not going to go out of my way for it,
For our listeners, it took Mary several months to talk to me, so.
That's not true, is it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I
I
think the
was a little intimidated by you at first.
first meeting that we were in together, you were like, "Why are you here?"
Oh my god!
You don't remember?
No, I don't remember.
It was like halfway through. You were like, "Why is he here?"
I was confused because you weren't on the team that I knew, but you also weren't.
I literally created a role for myself, and then
I was a little confused, but I did like you. I didn't mean it in an. I just, I can come off a little.
I was like, "That's the question." You're completely like, I don't remember.
I don't think I would have said, "Why are you
No, you
here?"
didn't say it
That's
like
harsh.
that. No, you didn't say that. You didn't use those words, but that was what you meant. Whatever question you asked.
I would hope it was something more along the lines of like, so are you like a mentor now? Like,
That's what, yeah, that's what you basically were asking.
probably.
But
I like to be in the know. I like to understand what's going on, Oh man, plus I remember those days. Does it still exist?
yeah. Justin just took a different job though, like
Uh,
ago there, maybe almost a year ago. Somewhere
okay.
else. He went to he's a director in like IT or something like that.
Oh, IT.
Yeah, something about that, I think.
Oh, good for him.
Exactly. Don't quote me on that, but
Okay,
he
I won't.
just left the.
I won't quote. Oh, well, I guess that's nice. Um, Sometimes I think about plus leading, like I think about transit. Like most of the time, ridership, transit in Atlanta is what I mean. Most of the time, ridership is quite low, but sometimes it's very, 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 very necessary, you know?
I'm sorry, Mary. Let me stop you right there, okay?
Okay.
Let me talk about Bayesian inferencing, but now you're going to talk about Atlanta transit traffic.
Ridership, ridership.
I'm sorry, yeah, ridership. Same idea though.
I disagree. So many
I would
people,
say maybe not, maybe.
so
Yeah.
many people know more about transit than they do about statistics, myself included. Especially whatever kind of statistics you're talking about.
It's just
Bayesian
it's
something.
it's probability. That's all it is.
Okay, sure. I know about percentages. Permutations.
Not really.
I know how to do that. I've
It's not
seen
really.
it. I'm good at basic math. Actually, no, not too basic of math. Can do algebra, not addition.
Not addition.
No. Or multiplication. Or division.
Anything else? Anything else you wanted to talk about today?
I don't think so. I covered my job. Um, to all those who are wondering, I am still gonna get my master's degree since I only have 2 semesters left. Yes, I will be getting a master's in structural engineering, technically, although I am no longer practicing. But at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be a master's in civil engineering, so that's good enough. So, in case anyone was stressed about where I landed on that question, now you know.
There were a lot of listener questions about that, so I'm glad you touched on that topic.
Thank you. I know, I really, it's been eating me up. I wanted to make sure everyone got closure on that question mark
Well,
out there.
that was something that you weren't sure you were going to be able to pull off. So I'm glad you figured that out.
Yeah, I really had to sit down and, have a big think take moment and really just come full circle. What else can I say? I didn't put a pin in it, I really ripped it wide open and really got into the details, the nitty gritty, but things
as
are
a
looking up.
degree will be full for you no matter what you do.
That's what they say, so. But anyway, I was just trying to come up with as many buzzwords as I possibly could. Do you use a lot of buzzwords at work?
It depends on who you ask. I think if you ask people that work with me, my coworkers don't think they're buzzwords. But I think objectively they're definitely it's all buzzwords.
It's all buzzwords.
Everything we do is buzzwords. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespecting them, but like
it's just the truth.
Like literally all of our, like my whole job is like throwing around buzzwords. It's like technical buzzwords almost.
That's all anyone does, yeah. Like moment, sheer.
Okay, Mary, an example. Okay, my job is predicated on what's called risk-informed decision making. That sounds like a buzzword, or
that sounds like a buzzword to me.
Right? To most people, but like that's my whole job is risk-informed decision making.
Wow.
So. Yeah.
Wow.
And it has very specific meaning too.
Yeah, I'm forgetting about. I'll have to think about some of the structural buzzwords, but I remember a lot of buzzwords from the construction industry. There's a lot of talk about moving parts and pieces. It was like every time someone had a meeting, you'd be like, how was the meeting? And they'd be like, a lot of moving parts and pieces. You're like, okay. That means nothing, but got it. So if you ever didn't know what to say, you'd just be like, there's just like a lot of moving parts and pieces. And people would be like, yes, I understand. You're one of us. That's a true buzz phrase, I guess. Now I'm still picking up on them. Okay. I have to take notes. But anyway.
We can end there, I guess.
Listeners, your homework is to send us your buzzwords, and on the next session, we'll share them in a round table format.
Yep.
Where the table is just me and Daniel and Amanda.
We covered a lot of things here, a lot of moving parts and pieces. Very glad you came on.
Thank you. It was a risk-informed decision.
Okay. Well, I guess you can use that, right?
I did.
Enjoy your McDonald's tonight.
My what?
McDonald's. It's a callback. It's
called. Okay. I wish I had McDonald's tonight. What I had was a very healthy meal, but man, what I would do for a Big Mac and a large fry. Whew.